Welcome back to another video, where we'll be talking about some of your favorite rappers. More specifically, we're going to talk about some of those that changed their stage names and why. If you're interested to find out which of the rhymers you love have changed their aliases, stick around. Before we jump into the video, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn notifications on too. First up is the notorious B.I.G. Biggie Smalls rose to popularity in the 80s and 90s. He was a well-loved hip-hop artist and known as the face of East Coast gangster rap. He had his roots deep in the New York rap scene for his short but promising career before he unfortunately died at just 24 in a drive-by homicide. His sad and untimely death saw the end of what could have been a huge influence on gangsta rap, and he was only able to release a few great songs such as Hypnotize before he was ruthlessly killed. He wasn't Biggie Smalls for long before he was forced to change his name, opting for the Notorious B.I.G. The reason he was made to change Biggie to the Notorious B.I.G. was for copyright reasons. Originally, he chose his stage name after being inspired by Biggie Smalls, a character from Let's Do It Again. However, Calvin Lockhart, who played Biggie in the movie, filed a lawsuit against him which led the Notorious B.I.G. to being forced to change his name. The Notorious B.I.G. wasn't the only one forced to change his name because of copyright issues. Chicago rapper Common also had a run-in with the law. Originally, rapper Common was known as Common Sense, but was forced to drop the sense from it because of copyright claims. This was due to a lawsuit filed by Orange County reggae group Common Sense. Now on to Young Jeezy. Young Jeezy was always known around Atlanta as Lil J, but he had a small suspicion that he wouldn't always like the Lil, as popular as it is amongst rappers. He was quick to drop it and become Young Jeezy instead, so while he wasn't made to change it, he did, and it was a good call. Since then, he also dropped the Young too, until it was just Jeezy. Much more professional, right? Up next is J. Cole, whom you might have known as the creator behind Put On or Soul Survivor. Some of you may be entirely aware that J. Cole wasn't always J. Cole, but he was actually formerly going by the name Therapist. J. Cole's passion for rapping came about at a really young age, but one problem he always faced was trying to decide what name to go by. He was never able to find a catchy alias to perform under and spent hours searching through dictionaries waiting for something cool to jump out. It wasn't until he had a run-in with the hip-hop duo Bombshell that he got the name Therapist. According to J. Cole, in his When I Was 17 MTV special, one day, these dudes were like, "Yo, we got a name for you. It's Therapist." He went by Therapist for a short while before deciding it sounded more like the name of a professional wrestler. After this, he decided to switch to a more natural alias and instead went for J. Cole. Now on to the one and only 2 Chainz. 2 Chainz became big with his hit Duffel Bag Boy when he was part of Playaz Circle. Since then, the duo has split up, and he's made a ton of hits solo, but he wasn't always known as 2 Chainz during his solo career. In fact, he used to perform under the stage name Titty Boy. Yeah, deep, right? Apparently, 2 Chainz was known as Titty Boy or Tit as a kid, which was a name given to the southern rapper by his close family and friends. It wasn't supposed to be offensive, it was just because he was always such a big and spoiled mama's boy, which is kinda sweet. He was an only child and was breastfed, so the nickname makes sense. After it came around, it just stuck, and everyone around his hood started to use it. He later changed it when he started to perform solo, deciding to go by 2 Chainz instead. The name 2 Chainz was reminiscent of his love for jewelry, and the 2 chains he always wore around his neck, but was also a nod to the fact he believed everyone had 2 chances. Up next is Boozy Badass. Boozy Badass has a far deeper meaning for changing his name than all of the other rappers on this list. He wanted a clean slate after a rough time that included drug charges, possession of armed weapons, intent of distribution, and more. He was even sentenced to prison for first-degree murder and served 5 of the 10 years sentenced to him. After all of this, he decided he wanted to start from scratch, and we can't blame him. After being released, he re-entered the rap game and decided to drop the Lil and added the Badass of the end of it. Now on to Diddy. Diddy first joined the rap game in 1997 after recording his first commercial rap, Can't Nobody Hold Me Down. It spent an incredible 28 weeks on the Billboard Top 100, and since then, he's been up there a few times again. It's not a surprise to anyone that he wasn't always known as just Diddy, is it? Because Diddy is a man of many names. He's been known as Puffy, Puff Daddy, and P. Diddy throughout his career, before finally settling on just Diddy. But why so many names, right? When asked why he'd gone through all of the random name changes, Diddy explained it in a simple way. Growing up, he was always known as Puffy because of his bad temper that was quick to flare. When he joined the rap game, he started to be referred to as Diddy and went through a long stage of trying to conjoin those nicknames. Eventually, though, he decided to drop the Puffy altogether, which was probably a good thing. He's since signed on onto a bunch of business deals that gave him the top spot on Forbes' wealthiest hip-hop artists. Diddy is far more professional than performing under homage to his temperamental roots. Onto a surprising one, the one and only Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg is infamous, and you're lying to yourself if you've never heard of this legend. Whether you adore the drop it like it's hot creator or only know him from marijuana memes, it's impossible not to have heard something or other about him. It will probably come as quite a surprise when I tell you that over his 30-year career of rap, he's changed his name a total of 3 times. Don't worry though, he's back to being the Snoop Dogg we all know and love. Originally, he changed it from Snoop Doggy Dogg to just Snoop Dogg. He kept the Charlie Brown reference, but just shortened it, which makes sense. After that though, he changed it once more back in 2012 by changing from Snoop Dogg to Snoop Lion. Why? Well, at the time, Snoop had converted to Rastafarianism and was experimenting with reggae music rather than rap. He recorded and released an entire album under the name and even recorded a documentary before changing it back to Snoop Dogg in 2013. Gucci Mane has also changed his name. Surprised by this? Well, I don't blame you. It's not strange that you were unaware of this because the I Get the Bag rapper changed his name for all of 20 minutes before changing it back. He became Guwop for an incredibly short time span before opting to remain Gucci Mane after a negative response from his fan base. It was a pretty good call. Next up is Kodak Black. This is a bit of a different one because Kodak Black didn't change his rap name. That doesn't mean he doesn't deserve a place in this video though, because he actually legally changed his name. Thankfully not to Kodak Black, but still a nod to it. Born loose in Octave, Kodak Black decided to instead change his name to Bill K. Capri. We have to admit, it does sound a lot cooler. Here are some quick name changes from rappers you might have heard of. The Game decided to drop the from his name, becoming simply Game. He's never said why he did so, presumably just because it sounded better and more casual. Andre 3000 was formerly just known as Dre. That doesn't sound nearly as cool though, does it? Shine also legally changed his name, but for more of a deeper reason than Kodak Black. He spent 10 years in prison and converted to Judaism from the inside. Upon leaving, he decided to change his birth name from Jamal Barrows to Moses Levi. Brian Williams used to rap under the alias Baby, but after becoming bigger and getting more money, he changed his name to Birdman instead. T.I. changed his name from Tip purely out of respect for his label mate Q-Tip. Originally given the nickname Tip by his grandfather, the stage name had sentimental meaning to him, which shows how nice of a guy he is. That's everything we have for you today about your favorite rappers and the name changes they've all had over the years. Let us know if we missed any obvious ones in the comments. Don't forget to give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and let us know what other videos you'd be interested in seeing. Before you click off, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications for more videos like this. We'll catch you soon for another video.